Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, persons of all ages, welcome to the most exclusive group in the wrestling community. And now, your hosts, first, from Guadalajara, Puerto Rico, Macho Rodriguez, and his tag team partner from New Brunswick, Canada, God's Tyler Taylor!
Mi gente, ¿cómo estamos? I'm here to do a review on AEW's WrestleDream, their latest pay-per-view installment. And I got to be honest with you, I'm a little underwhelmed. I rewatched the pay-per-view this morning and I thought to myself, wow, this was not as great as it was yesterday. So let's jump right into it. And I'll tell you what my critiques are and what my favorite moments are. Right away, we're going to jump off with the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships on the line as we have the Righteous versus MJF Solo. This match itself only told me one thing, that MJF grew up a massive Hulk Hogan, a massive Ultimate Warrior, and a massive Macho Man Randy Savage fan. He wants to bring that version of professional wrestling back into the fold today. He is not that guy like you or I who grew up during the Attitude Era. He's the guy who actually prefers the era before the Attitude Era. And although it might be exciting to some people, it's not necessarily what I was looking to see. He talks about it a lot on the scrum afterward, where he says that he's trying to bring back to professional wrestling the things he loves. And I admire that. But the match itself was very convoluted. It was very meh. So I'm going to give this match 1.5 empanadas. It's just not what I was looking forward to. I understood that MJF was going to go over here because of they're not going to take the titles off him as soon as Adam Cole gets injured. That wouldn't service the story at all. But what I was also looking forward to was watching MJF take a lot of heat. And he didn't do that either. He actually doled out a lot of offense. Moving on to one of the better matches of the night, which is Eddie Kingston versus Shibata. This was for the Ring of Honor World Championship and the Strong Openweight Championship. This match was solid. I saw some really negative tweets out there about Eddie Kingston yesterday. And one of them was, if you've seen one Eddie Kingston match, you've seen them all. And I completely disagree. That match itself was exactly what it needed to be. It wasn't as blasphemous as people are labeling it. I thought Shibata worked really hard. Him and Eddie Kingston are a good marriage together, and they gave us a solid match. I'm going to give this a 3 empanadas. Moving on, we're going to go to our first women's match of the night, which came in at number 3. This match was given 9 minutes, and it was Chris Statlander defending the TBS Championship against Julia Hart. This match only told me one thing, that Julia Hart is being positioned to be the next big star in AEW in terms of the women's division. Chris Statlander made her look like $1 million. I didn't necessarily think the match was great itself, but I thought the way that they played off each other and what they did for each other in the match, I thought was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. Didn't think that I would, just based off the fact that I'm not the biggest Chris Statlander fan. I don't think she has a lot of charisma. But in terms of what we saw in the ring yesterday, I was very impressed. Very impressed. I'm going to give this a 3.5 empanadas. Now we're moving on to what I believe is the worst match of the night, which is the Fatal 4-Way Tag Match. And this has the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros versus Orange Cassidy and Hook and versus the Guns. Oh, guys, I don't know. I'm going to give this like a half of an empanada. This match was... It was really slow. There was no technical ability. There was no great storytelling. There was nothing to really get the crowd popped and up and out of their feet. And then towards the end of the match, it became a spot fest to just get to the finish. The entire match to me screamed one thing. The Young Bucks are going over. That was it. That's all I got out of the match. I didn't understand what was going on. I felt like I was watching a hot mess. It felt like I was watching an Attitude Era version of the Hardcore title. That's what it felt like to me. It didn't feel like a traditional wrestling match. And I know sometimes we need differences in wrestling, as Kenny Omega stated in the scrum afterward. So you have a match like Bryan Danielson's match. You have a match like Kenny Omega's match. You have a match like Eddie Kingston's match. They're all different styles. Yes, we need that. But this right here, I don't understand what the purpose of this match was. I don't know who this helps. I don't know what this does for the story to push it forward. All this happened. The only thing of note that happened in this match was that Rey Fenix got injured, and that's unfortunate. So, yeah, I'm going to give this half an empanada. Yeah, I ate half of it. No me gustó. Lo tiré en la basura. And that's it. It's that simple. All right, moving on to what I believe is 1B to 1A in terms of the match of the night, which was Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page. This match was phenomenal, guys. These two are a match made in heaven. I loved everything about it. I love the story of Hangman Adam Page continuing to mess with Swerve Strickland's hand after he stabbed him with the pen. I love the fact that Swerve Strickland barely needed any outside interference for the win, and it also kept Hangman Adam Page pretty strong. I really think Swerve Strickland's offense is super underrated. The way he works in the ring is unlike anyone else. It is very much like Booker T wrestling in early WCW. No, scratch that. It's actually a little bit different. When I look at Swerve Strickland and I look at his offense, I actually think of Chris Kanyon. A lot of you may know him as Mortis. That's what I look at. He's very innovative, very exciting to watch. Hangman Adam Page is a superstar. I'm so glad he keeps himself out of trouble. I give this match 4.5 empanadas. It was that good. Just absolutely good. Now we have the first filler match of the evening, which was Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. This match was a 9-minute match, and it was just that. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just fine. Ricky Starks, this is a way to get him a win on a big pay-per-view, and it did just that. He got a win over the BCC, and that's it. So I don't know if now he's going through the BCC. Maybe he wrestles Jon Moxley next. Maybe he wrestles Claudio next. I don't know. But he obviously couldn't beat Bryan Danielson, and maybe he's moving through the division, through the actual group. Now we're going on to the match of the night. This match was about 23 minutes or 22 minutes and 45 seconds long. This was Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. This match was a technical mastery, guys. Absolutely a beautiful art piece just drawn for us, and we were able to just watch. You could tell the crowd was in awe. You could tell they were excited, but they also didn't want to turn away to see what was going to happen next. I love the fact that every time Bryan Danielson went to pull off a move, Zack Sabre Jr. was able to reverse it. Everything Bryan did, Zack pulled out like, I can do it better. And he reversed every single thing that Bryan Danielson did, and it was wonderful. When I watched it, I thought to myself, this match, I don't know if it holds up. I was wrong, guys. This match held up phenomenally. When I watched this match today, I thought to myself, holy shit, this might actually be up there in terms of the one of the best matches of the year for this company. It is that good. I implore you, I beg you, go back and watch Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson. You will be super excited. And as for today, we have had Zack Sabre Jr. talk about this match. He called out Bryan Danielson once again, said that Bryan Danielson didn't beat him by tap out, that he had to pin him, and he challenges him to a match in London or Japan. So let's see if we get it. It looks like the match might not happen for another year, but that's okay. Let it marinate. We like that. I enjoy that. I'm looking forward to the story being dragged out as long as it could. All right, now we're going to the 6-man tag match, which is the Don Callis family, which consists of Will Ospreay, Takeshita, and Sammy Guevara versus Chris Jericho and the Golden Elite, which are comprised of Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. This match was 22 minutes, and it was really good. Absolutely. I have been really harsh on Chris Jericho lately and have labeled him as a guy who's just there, who's just looking for a paycheck. But no, he contributed very much to this match. I was very excited with what I saw. I'm becoming a massive fan of Takeshita. I really like his style. Kenny Omega definitely was the star of this match. He stood out to me. Sammy Guevara held his own against all of these stars in here. And I'm excited for what happens. Obviously, the Don Callis family continues to win against Kenny Omega in any way, shape, or form. So clearly, the payoff is going to possibly be down the line at another pay-per-view where we'll have a one-on-one match between Kenny Omega and Takeshita. But as for right now, the Golden Elite are not able to overcome the Don Callis family. Now we move on to the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. This match was 20 minutes, and I felt like it was too long. I understand that FTR versus Aussie Open was supposed to be a dream match for many, but when I watched this match, what I noticed was that FTR has continued to try to prove that they're the best tag team in the world. 90% of the universe in professional wrestling believes that FTR is the best tag team in the world. There's that 10% of us that believe that the Usos are still that team. So I don't think FTR needs to prove anything anymore, but for some reason when I watch them, it looks like they're trying to jam-pack moves and it doesn't look fluid. It doesn't look natural. It looks like they're trying their hardest to get us to appreciate and like their matches. I don't know. I give this match right here about a 3 empanadas. Oh, by the way, I got to give the other two. I got to rate the other two. So Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. gets a 5 empanadas. And the Don Callis versus the Golden Elite and Chris Jericho, I'm giving that match 4 empanadas. I actually thought it was really good. Moving on to the main event of the evening, which was Christian Cage versus Darby Allin. This match was 25 minutes long. It was the longest match of the evening. And yeah, Christian Cage retains the TNT Championship, goes over on Darby Allin, and the match itself was really good. They worked really well. I did not like some of the spots with the steel steps. I thought they were unnecessary. I understand that Darby Allin is essentially a stunt double as a professional wrestler, but there's got to be a way to do it so that way you're not like putting your life on the line. There was a spot with the steps yesterday. I just felt that could have been a terrible injury. And if not for Darby not tucking his arm in, I'm wondering if the back of his neck doesn't hit like the bridge of one of those steps. It was a really bad spot. But Christian Cage wins this match. He wins 2 falls to 1. And after the match, we see Nick Wayne come out to try to help Darby Allin, only to betray him. So now we have Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Luchasaurus out there to betray or to beat down on Darby Allin, which they're met with Sting. Sting tries his best, but the numbers game is just too much. And at that very moment, we see what looks like Grindhouse, what looks like a Quentin Tarantino / Robert Rodriguez film on the screen. And it is a muscle car driving around. It looks like headed to the arena, only for the lights to come back on and for Christian's face to look completely flabbergasted. Like, who the hell could this be? Who would start shit with our little group? And in the most robotic voice ever, you hear, "You think you know me." And then Alter Bridge plays and Edge comes out. He has jumped ship, people. Edge is officially all elite. But now he is no longer going by Edge. He is going by Adam Copeland, his real name. So now Adam Copeland, the rated R superstar, is officially elite. He will have his first match in 1 week from Wednesday against Luchasaurus. He will talk for the first time this Wednesday. And he will, once again, he will be on Saturday Night Collision. But the biggest news about last night was the fact that Edge is a full-time superstar. He is not wrestling in AEW once in a blue moon. He's going to be at every TV taping. He's going to be there, that veteran presence. That's a lot to ask for of a 49-year-old superstar, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Edge does. I believe that he's a brilliant mind in professional wrestling, and I'm excited to see how this moves the needle because AEW has been really struggling to maintain viewership on Wednesday nights and Saturday nights, and maybe just having Edge on television will get them to cross that 1 million marker. So let's see what happens, guys. So all in all, I would give this pay-per-view about a 3.5 empanadas. Yes, I know that there's a 5 empanada match and there's a 4.5 empanada match, but I just feel like there's more bad than good at WrestleDream, and it didn't really feel like a dream. It felt like a nightmare. So once again, we will be doing our podcast tomorrow evening with Tyler and myself. So come on and join us. We're looking forward to talking with you and talking about all things professional wrestling. We will go in depth on No Mercy and AEW WrestleDream, but this was just a quick recap on the show. We look forward to hearing from you, so please hit us up on our socials. And that is must_love_wrestling. That is on Instagram. You could follow me on TikTok at BoricuaLou. That's BORICUA.LOU. Once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we're out.